Hello and welcome to the Kristin Carrera podcast. I am your host, Kristin. Welcome back if you've been following along, as always. And if you are new, please make sure to hit that subscribe button, like, follow along, and comment. I love to hear where you are on your journey. Are you new to Carnivore? Are you checking it out to see if it's for you? Have you been on Carnivore? What has it helped you with? All those good things, leave them below in the comments. So today I want to talk to you about mistakes that could have been avoided when starting the carnivore diet. Most people like to jump into a new diet from one extreme to the other, right? So you're on a sad diet and you want to start carnivore and you're like, cold turkey, let's do this. Well, here's the problem with that. There are a lot of factors that you may not understand right away. There are things that your body is going to go through, the transition, the adaptation period, right? And so for me, this is what happened. I was going to start January 1st. And instead of going cold turkey completely, I did take December to gradually ease myself into it. So I started off with just lowering my carb intake for breakfast, and for dinner, because my husband was already on carnivore, I would have a carnivore dinner. But with that said, I also enjoyed my holidays. I knew I wanted to have all the food that I wasn't going to be eating starting on carnivore. So I had my arroz con gandules and my lechon and all of that good stuff, right? In between, slowly easing into the transition of carnivore. These are the lessons that I learned along the way. Even though I did that, this was something that if I would have really known, I would have taken more time to transition. So when I started carnivore, it was January 1st, right? That was my New Year's resolution goal. But I didn't just wake up and go full carnivore, like I said. I had that whole entire month to adjust. And I was basically doing like a hybrid approach. So I eased into the diet. I thought I was doing good. I thought, okay, I got this, right? In 2 weeks, I'm going to feel all this energy and I'm going to sleep better and the brain fog is going to be lifted and my anxiety is going to be so much better. Like I really was having hope because I heard all these testimonials, and then that's not what happens to me. If you've been following, you know I had all my ups and downs, my roller coaster that I like to call it, but I pushed through. I did. So there will be a few bumps in the road in your journey if you are starting out, especially if you are coming from a sad diet, or maybe you're coming from a vegan vegetarian diet. A lot of vegan vegetarians, I've heard testimonies of them going carnivore. So these are the things that you should look out for. So one of the biggest challenges was dealing with what is commonly known as the keto flu, quote unquote. Now, you may have heard about it before. Keto flu is what happens when your body is transitioning from burning carbs to burning fat. And it can leave you feeling exhausted, brain fog, headaches, just overall like sluggishness. It is no joke. I felt all of those things. I had the headaches. I still had the brain fog. I was still really, really tired. I was like, what is going on? Why am I not feeling better? I think I even feel more tired than I normally do, which was already really heavy on me. And so that was the keto flu. I felt achy, kind of like you have the flu. That's why it's called the keto flu. And then the other thing that I ran into was oxalate dumping. I had heard about oxalates. I had read up on a little bit on oxalates, but I didn't really truly understand what it was until I was going through the transition and I started to research more and I started to listen to more videos. You can check out the resources that I have in my description below. A lot of those doctors talk about oxalate dumping and what oxalates are. I'll just give you a brief description. So this is a big one for those who may not know what oxalates are. Oxalates are compounds found in plant foods. So spinach, sweet potato, nuts, all the things that you are probably eating. And when you start cutting out these foods, your body releases the stored oxalates, which can lead to headaches, joint pain, fatigue, right? So mix that with the keto flu. It's the side effects that are not often talked about, but they are real. I mean, I went through them, I felt them, and some people go through it worse than others. It just depends on where you are coming from when starting a carnivore diet. So looking back, I realized that I could have eased into it even more slowly. Even though the transition over the course of the month, I think did allow myself and my body time to reduce some of the discomfort that I probably felt. But again, it just depends on you and your body. It depends where you're coming from. I already had a lot of brain fog, a lot of fatigue and things like that before starting carnivore. It kind of just enhanced it with all the oxalate dumping and keto flu. So I would probably take more than a month to ease into it. There's no rush. So if you're thinking about doing carnivore and you haven't started yet, my advice is to maybe take 2 to 3 months really, where you're slowly reducing the amount of carbs that you are eating and the amount of vegetables and fruits. And that way, it's just not this huge shock to your body when you go to transition into carnivore. I think that that's going to be an easier transition for your body to adjust to the carnivore way of eating. So that is definitely something that I wish that I would have done. But it is what it is. You live and you learn, and here I am giving you my advice as to what I would have done differently if I would have known how bad the oxalate dumping and the keto flu would have been. So if you are on the carnivore journey, I would love to hear your experience. Did you go all in on day one? Did you ease into it? How did you feel? Let's keep the conversation going. If you are thinking about doing carnivore, what are your thoughts? And do you have any questions? Leave those in the comments below as well. You can head over to my other social media. I am on Instagram, on TikTok, on X, and I am also over on Nostr. So if you are on any of those platforms, come and say hi, DM me any questions that you have. And if you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe for more insights and tips. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you on the next podcast.